Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whoever and wherever you are. This is Steve, and I am the host and moderator of this meeting of Speech Anxiety Masters, or SAM, the world's only speech club that enables persons who stutter to become fluent. SAM is sponsored by the World Stop Stuttering Academy, the world's only community of ex-stutterers and those fast becoming ex-stutterers. WSSA is dedicated to the cause of removing stuttering and speech anxieties from the planet by using the neuroscience method to stop stuttering, which is based on neuroplasticity, or the brain's ability to change itself, and was created and is continuously expanded by Lee Lovett and the folks at WSSA. We support all legal and moral methods that work, but these meetings will focus only on neuroscience method. The neuroscience method is based upon retraining the mind to overwrite old stuttering memories with new fluency memories. This is achieved by taking private stuttering speech therapy provided by certified stuttering specialists who are ex-stutterers and daily practicing of our program using the StopStutter app or the StopStutter website. We offer stuttering speech therapy packages of 3, 5, and even 10 sessions, and will provide a sign-up link with affordable weekly installments in the chat room. The most important single method that we teach is this. PWS must hold the tone through all words as they speak. Our goals are to stop stuttering, to teach ourselves to love to speak in all situations, to elevate our lives through mind training, to improve our mental health, and to provide a support community of ex-stutterers to help persons who stutter and achieve and maintain fluency defined as speaking in all situations without appearing to be the person who stutters. Our rules: 1. No one is required to say anything, but everyone is encouraged to speak, including those who stutter every word. 2. Before speaking, please tap the raise your hand button and be recognized by the moderator, who is I. 3. If you do not wish to speak, feel free to post a chat to everyone or to any individual, including the host. No one is required to reply to chats. 4. Do not say anything that you would not be pleased for your parents or your children or your grandma to hear. 5. Finally, please turn on your mute button and keep your mic muted until you are called on to speak. Be advised, though, these meetings are recorded and may be shown in whole or in part by WSSA on its website or elsewhere. Before we start, please click the 3 dots in the upper right-hand corner of your square and insert your first name followed by a hyphen and your country. Last names are not needed. Everyone wants to know what to call you and where you live. Do not miss the last 10 minutes of the meeting when Coach Lee gives a wrap-up and his tips for the week. Folks, to stay on schedule, please limit your comments to 2 to 3 minutes. We will cut off all comments at 12:50 p.m. New York City time, which is my time. As such, do not be offended if the time remaining does not allow me to call you. It's nothing personal, folks, I promise you.
Ladies and gentlemen, I have waited a long time for this. It is my esteemed privilege to serve and be an advocate for our speaker today. Let's get one thing straight. This ain't WCW. This ain't Monday Night Raw. This ain't SmackDown. Heck, this ain't even WWE. This is WSSA. And let's get another thing straight, folks. This young man speaking today isn't here to put smiles on people's faces. He is here to shock the WSSA universe and put the final nails in the coffin of Satan's stuttering. Move over, Frank Sinatra. Move over, Bruce Springsteen. Move over, Tony Soprano. Make way for the new King of New Jersey, the undisputed King of word linkage. Here he is now, Amauris, Big Money Hernandez.
You never fail to disappoint, Sensei Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you for that masterful intro. Okay. Hello, speech family. My name is Amauris Xavier Hernandez, and I am from Bergenfield, New Jersey. My stutter began when I was 4 years old. I turned 30 years old on Tuesday and am determined to leave my stutter in the past, right where it belongs. What better birthday gift could I give myself, huh? I want to start this off by expressing my wholehearted gratitude and sharing how blessed I have felt since joining WSSA in February of last year. This community is all about helping one another with love and support to unlock our potential and live more fulfilled lives. What can be more of a blessing than being a part of something like that? And that blessing came through each of us, enduring the anguish of a stutter. Pain is often where purpose can be found, and WSSA is where many have been able to convert the pain of stuttering into a blessing. I'll never forget my consultation call with Coach Danny. Within 30 minutes, he shed the light of WSSA on me and had me shedding tears of joy. It went something like this. What, Danny? Stuttering is only a bad habit? What? All along, I could overcome this through disciplined work? Huh? And then there's even an opportunity to become a certified stuttering specialist who helps rid the world of stuttering? Danny, I'm sold. Take all my money. Click. But just in case anyone here needed a reminder of or clarity on how utterly incredible this program is, there's your reminder. Undeniably, it is a struggle to ever acknowledge stuttering as a blessing. But the hardships that my stutter put me through fortified my resilience. It shaped me into the empathetic and kind man that I am today. It blessed me by leading me to all of you and to WSSA. I draw endless inspiration and knowledge from my beautiful friends from all over the world through our practice sessions and phone calls. Thank you to my hero, Coach Lee. Thank you to my big bro, my speech sensei, Steve, who dedicated his time to coach me one-on-one for months. I'll tell you what, no one here demonstrates better than Steve that speech is meant to be a fun and experimentative game. And yes, Coach Lee, that was also me pitching for Steve's pay raise this year. Thank you to Coach Danny, who has been an esteemed role model for me and a pillar of this program. And shout out to Antonio for hosting my favorite practice sessions with your games and making it impossible to get a 10 out of 10 speech grading from you. Okay, everyone, there's my intro. I'll save you all from my stuttering sob stories, since I am erasing them from my mental memory image bank. I choose to dwell on my improvements and speech victories now, such as the fact that I have the confidence now to deliver a fluent speech to a group this large and to fearlessly present myself for any work interview or meeting. I want to focus my speech on what is working for me and how my changes in perspective are helping me crush my stuttering habit. As we all know, the 1, 2, 3 punch includes the following: reading aloud, mind training treatment, and the use of the speech crutches. It took me months to figure out what speech plan worked best for me. My favorite crutches have always been voice modulation, extreme pronunciation, and word linkage, since I am mostly a fast-talking, choppy speech middle word blocker. It was around June of last year when Coach Danny started complimenting my use of word linkage. That's all it took for me to make Short Link Stop my go-to speech plan. This plan ensures me of holding my tone to smooth out the choppiness in my speech. It helps me insert pauses and keep my breathing as relaxed as possible, along with happily finding a speech plan that works for me. This personal victory led to another. I truly grew to enjoy the way I sounded while using this speech plan. I had never enjoyed hearing myself speak in my life until now. As a matter of fact, if you were to ask me, what is one of the worst forms of torture that you could put me through? I'd say strap me to a chair and make me listen to recordings of myself where I was fighting through my blocks and repeats. Absolutely brutal. But now, with my speech plan, I find my manner of speaking pleasant to listen to, without caring if others feel that same way about my speech. An absolutely monumental victory for me. When it comes to reading aloud, I stick with quotes and poetry. Unless I'm spending time with my lovely and supportive girlfriend. She makes me read her sappy love novels out loud. Anyways, I find it easiest to exaggerate the crutches when I'm reading quotes and poetry. I always read them slowly because it feels like a crime to rush through a poem. In this process, I learned to treat my words the way I treated poetry. As in, I have important things to say, so I shall act accordingly by slowing down and saying everything like I mean them, the way that a poet does, and as Coach Lee advises. On to my favorite punch, mind training treatment. As a habitually stressed out finance employee, I crank up the use of self-hypnosis and box breathing. We all know what self-hypnosis is, but for those who don't know what box breathing is, it's a relaxation technique where you breathe in for 4 counts, hold your breath for 4 counts, and then exhale for 4 counts. Within 5 rounds of that, my body is just melting into my seat. On some days, I even listen to guided meditations more than I listen to my regular music. I became obsessed with the relaxation all of these tools bring me. As for positive affirmations, I have a top 3 that I made for myself. I am fluent when I use short link stop. Since I've experienced this numerous times, I have 0 doubts in this affirmation. I fully believe it. I am kind, patient, and forgiving to myself. I've been intensely critical of myself my whole life. So this affirmation helps me become more of a friend to myself every day. I visualize peace and speech fluency for myself. This one allows me to reaffirm every day what my goals are and to visualize them happening. The last topic I want to hone in on is the $1 trillion statement from Coach Lee that rewired my entire brain. Stuttering is just a habit. I spent 25 years of my life referring to stuttering as everything but a habit, simply because I've been misinformed. It's a demon. It's Satan stuttering. It's a disease. It's what makes me less of a person. It's what makes me a loser. Those things were only as true as I made them out to be in my own mind. Those crippling perspectives I had were my real demons. And if my ultimate end goal at WSSA is to truly convert stuttering into a blessing, I can't keep calling it Satan throughout my journey. That's counterintuitive. I solely acknowledge stuttering as a habit that I am unlearning. Nothing more, nothing less. Just like any other bad habit I've ever shaken off. This mentality shift shrunk stuttering as an adversary in my mind from this great, evil, omnipotent force to being just about this small. For example, let's say I had a bad habit of burping out loud in public. After an embarrassing burping moment, what would I think to myself? I would think, man, I have got to be more conscious of my manners and my actions to stop this burping habit immediately. It's rude, it's gross, etc. And I would then lose this bad habit shortly afterwards, right? I would never say to myself, oh, the burp demon or Satan burp took over me, right? So why have I been treating my poor speech habit any differently than a bad burping habit? Stuttering is just a pesky habit that I left unaddressed for far too long. I can and I will fully stop it with continued focused work. I take full accountability for my speech now. I give myself full control over my speech. I give myself freedom from stuttering to achieve the speech fluency that I was always capable of. Thank you, everyone.
Woo! Folks, give it up for my friend Amauris. Man, like I said in my intro earlier, I waited a long time for this moment, and you did not disappoint. And like I expected, you sounded amazing. And I feel like you've inspired a lot of people here, and I'm glad to call you my friend. That being said, folks, let's get those hands up and we'll get started. Shaw from Los Angeles, the mic is yours, my friend.
Steve, thank you for the opportunity to speak. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm
Cheers,
on my
mate.
cell phone.
Yes, you can.
Thank you. First of all, Steve, let me say to you, I understand that WWE and MMA have an opening for a ring broadcast announcer. I would highly recommend that you throw your hat in the ring for that SmackDown gig because Vince McMahon really needs you, my friend. Okay, Amauris.
Cheers, mate.
Okay, Amauris. As I said in the chat, a pitch perfect employment of your main speech plan and, of course, all of your crutches. It goes without saying. Amauris, it was a pleasure, my friend, speaking with you one-on-one earlier this week. And I totally agree with you that stuttering is purely a bad speech habit that I, at this age of 73 years of age, am committed to overcoming. In our conversation earlier this week, I forgot to ask you something, which I'm going to ask you here. And I don't mean to put you on the spot. You had told me in our conversation that you wanted to help and guide others to this newfound path. My question to you is, exactly how do you plan to implement and execute that vision? So back to you, my friend.
Thank you for your kind words, Shaw. And it was a pleasure speaking with you as well earlier this week. A motto that I've sort of implemented as well for my life came from a realization, that no one can truly save us or help us except ourselves. We can't rely on anyone or anything unless we ourselves are committed to putting in the work and doing what's necessary to change. Nothing changes if nothing changes. As Coach Lee has said, no speech therapist or program can help anyone if they're not willing to help themselves. So my approach would definitely be one, to, as I did in the speech as well, is to get everyone to, take accountability and responsibility for the work that needs to be put in to see speech results, And then that's where the community comes in and helps each other, maximizing the use of the crutches, offering tips, perspectives on how to better use the crutch or better implement it in what situations. And I would love to play any role I can in any part of those steps for anyone at WSSA or any other stutter I encounter.
Thank you, my friend. Just a quick comment. I'm in this month's Focus on Fluency program, and I hope to give some positive and constructive feedback at the end of this month. And Amauris, you are an inspiration for everyone here, my friend. Back to you, Steve.
Thanks
All
again,
right.
Shaw.
Thank you, Shaw. Next is my man Miguel from Brazil. Miguel, the mic is yours.
Hello, everyone. Okay, and you hear me well? Great.
Yes.
First of all, Amauris, the beautiful speech, and I have a long list of compliments to give you. First of all, I really love your charisma. I really love your use of emotion, and for me, you are the personification of the speech playing. Charlene Stott, because you do it so well. Well, my proper question is, I read your story, by the way, more than once, twice, and you mentioned some mental damages that Stuttering is to cause in your life. And my question is, what was the most valuable lesson about mental health? And, and did you learn so far from this program? Thank you.
Thank you, Miguel, for your questions. So, if I heard you correctly, your first question revolved around what was my greatest lesson regarding mental health. As far as mental health goes, I really took a big jump on this journey after just feeling so exhausted of feeling bad for myself my whole life. Feeling exhausted from the negative thoughts and just feeling like I was almost like a negative person to be around because I was carrying all of this emotional baggage that, funny enough, most of my friends have never truly worried about or cared about, you know? So just learning to make less of a big deal about my stutter, knowing that I am much more than just a person who stutters or used to stutter. And just learning to dwell on the positives, because when you fill your mind with positive thoughts, you drown out anything negative, and nothing negative can even make its way in. And as far as the greatest lesson I've learned in this program, like I capped off in my speech, stuttering is just a habit, nothing more, nothing less. Just like any other bad habit any of us have shaken off in our lives, this is just another one on that list. Thanks, Miguel.
Thank you, Miguel. Real quick, folks, we have about 60 people in here right now. It's amazing. It's amazing. The numbers are growing. Folks, we got time. I want to see some more hands. Come on, get those hands up. Make your comments. Ask those questions. We got plenty of time, folks. All right, that being said, next on the mic is Tara from Canada. Tara, the mic is yours.
Okay, can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. Amauris, my friend, I am so happy to see you here and to hear your speech. Wonderful as always. The pauses were amazing. And as Danny says, your word linkage is poetry in motion. Absolutely true. And I wanted to make a comment and ask a quick question. The comment is, I've always noticed since I've known you, I guess in the last 10 months or so, that you have a very kind aura. It's a very kind and helpful aura. But what I'm noticing now is you mentioned that you have that affirmation for yourself. to be kind to yourself. And it's really showing because when you said that calling a stutter a demon is counterintuitive, I completely agree with you. It's coming from a place of kindness to yourself. And just thinking that it's only a habit and nothing bigger than that absolutely shows that shift in your mindset. So I'm so happy and proud of you. And my question for you is, how have things changed for you at the workplace? Because you mentioned that you had to give updates in meetings, and how has that been going for you?
First of all, thank you, Tara. And so everyone here knows, Tara was one of my first role models when it came to word linkage. So thank you, Tara, for that. And so regarding how things have changed at work, I definitely shy away from confrontation a lot less now. Whenever I have the feeling that a manager is a little misinformed or doing anything that's a little less efficient, historically, I would keep my mouth shut just for the sake of avoiding a potential negative speech incident. And I've grown to have a lot more confidence in my own voice and recognizing that even if I take a little extra time than others do to express my thought with the use of my speech plan, that's completely okay because my perspectives at the workplace are just as important as any other manager or coworker who I have, who usually speaks at 1,000 words a minute. So there's that.
I'm so glad to hear that, Amauris. All the best.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
All right, next is a future coach. Give it up for Patricia. The mic is yours.
Great job, Steve. That was fantastic and very entertaining. Amauris, excellent job. I love the way that you were speaking. You just have such a nice melody to your voice, and listening to you maybe just feel so calm. And I also really appreciated in detail how you executed in your life personally the 1, 2, 3 punch. So thank you for sharing. I do have a question. In what way, if at all, do you think your years of training in combat sport has prepared you for working on your speech? Great job. I'm so happy for you.
Thanks, Patricia. And before I respond, Patricia is another role model for me when it comes to the use of the crutches. She's the queen of word linkage, if no one else here knows. So, to answer your question, my favorite question so far, how has my training in combat sports helped me in my speech journey? As you can assume, when I am sparring with my teammates, I get hit and they get hit, right? Happens. It's part of the fun. I noticed that I am different when it comes to martial arts than I have been in my speech journey. I'm perfectly fine with getting hit because I noticed that in my opponents, it opens up, openings in their guard. When they have an arm extended for a punch or anything, and I get hit, I see an opening to counter and push forward. And I can apply that same, scenario with speaking. I associate getting hit with any speech stumbles, any small blocks, small repeats. Instead of making a big deal about the fact that I got hit, I push forward and implement my plan, my fighting game plan, my speech plan, same thing. So it taught me to keep on pushing. Thanks, Patricia.
Hey, next, another future coach. Cindy, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Steve. Fantastic job. Who would have thought you ever stuttered? I mean, you're a showman, first class. And to my buddy Amauris, happy birthday. Wiping stuttering in the dust at 30. Wow. I think I met you in March during one of the speech sessions, and you were one of the first persons that I did meet. And we became mates, and we both got to PWSS. So anyone can do it, right, or worse, if we can. I did write something down that I wanted to talk to you about your speech at your job. But Tara kind of took part of it, but I'll continue on. In your therapy sessions with Steve, I watched a lot about phone calls because as part of your job, there's lots of phone calls. And we all know calls are sometimes hard for us stutterers or even for ex-stutterers. So how has the phone calls been? Thank you so much.
Thank you for your question, Cindy. And it's been a pleasure knowing you and learning from you over this last year. So yes, to speak a little bit more on my experiences with onboarding clients at work. Talking about money with clients, it's a touchy subject for some people and they get irritable, and it's easy to fall into that tension on those calls. But literally, what's helped me is visualizing the funny voices and funny faces Steve would make during our role playing, during those scenarios, to bring me back to calm, to just treat those same scenarios the same way I would with those role playing. So once again, thank you to my big bro, Sensei Steve, for all of his coaching. Coach Lee, give that man a raise.
Personally, I think that's a great suggestion from Amauris, folks, to give me a pay raise. That'd be wonderful. Dean, make note of that if you're here. All right, next, another future coach, a trifecta, if you will. Noah Sam from Switzerland. Noah, the mic is yours.
Thank you, peace and love. To say it with the words of Ringo Starr, of course. Yeah, which I will say would be my suggestion for your next persona. I think you could do a mean Ringo Starr, Steve. Now, Amauris, I want to keep it short. Just lovely speech, both your speech and what you said. I just have always really, been enamored by the way you use voice modulation. It sounds like a song. And I'm a musician, so take it from me. It sounds real good and it just sounds so very natural. And when I think to myself, oh, am I doing it too much? I think, oh no, I just have to think of how Amauris does it, and then it's gonna be fine. So thanks for being an inspiration to all of us.
Thanks so much, Noah. And if you want to help me take my word linkage to the next level. Let's get a studio session going and make some music or something.
Sure, my man. You know who to call.
Oh, yeah.
Very good. Hey, folks, we're coming to the 12:50 mark. Hey, Lee, quick question. We got a few more hands up. Would it be okay if I allow them to ask their question?
Yeah, sure. I think we just ask everybody to keep it real short because when you get to two, we gotta shut it down one way or another. Ambassador Siebert needs to say a couple of words, and so do I. So yes, just limit them a little bit. Thanks.
Okay. Folks, you heard from the man himself, the real McCoy, the man that brought all of us together, this wonderful program. So let's keep it short, get a quick comment, ask a question, and let's move forward, okay? All right.
Yes.
All right, let's keep going. Next on the mic, my man from Serbia, Milos. Mic is yours.
Yes. Thank you, Steve. Steve has so much style today in clothing and in speech and so on. I'm really jealous. One question to Amauris that I was basically very surprised once Steve created teaser trailers and you being a fighter because you have such a light personality, such a happy face and so on. Usually fighters would be a little bit rougher characters, let's say the least. So I have a question and one more compliment. You used such melodic voice in such open manner that is really a word of praise. Can you tell me what gives you the strength each time to get with the light mood, no matter the stress that you might living through? Thank you.
Thank you so much, Milos. I guess partially it comes from the fact that I've held myself back from showing more of myself for so long in my life that I just want to like overshare a lot of the time, you know? I want to be a source of light for people. I want to be a source of inspiration and love for everyone, you know? I used to feel very isolated and misunderstood and so I guess a lot of this just comes from me getting that taste of freedom of what it feels like to really let people see more of me and just that exchange of personality and energy, it just makes my days better. So every time I have a speech practice session with anyone here, it just makes my days better being able to interact with everyone and not hold back personality wise or speech wise. So yes, all of this makes me happy and makes my aura glow brighter. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much
Thank you,
for
Milos.
response.
Great answer. And as your coach, man, I can say that, and I don't want to offend any of the people that I've coached thus far, but he was my favorite student. Like, he has that aura. He came, he worked hard, he took every suggestion, and listen to him, folks. Like, he is a shining example of how this program works. All right. Anyways, I'm not trying to kiss his butt or anything. Next on the mic. Oh, it's my man Rollins. Rollins, what's up? Mic is yours, man. Woo!
Good man. Steve, you always make it fun. I will give you that every time. Because I knew this Sam talk was gonna be hard because that's why I came here today. I had somewhere to go, but I'm like, no, I'm gonna be here. Damn everywhere else. Amauris, what I would say is people don't understand, but every time when I started my journey last year, you've been in the practice group session consistently because that practice group session, the community, some people don't understand, but that is a safe space. It's like a development space where we can practice what we are learning offline. So when I started my journey, just by coming in there, I see you, I see Tyra, I see Cindy, Danny, Jamal. You all give me hope because imagine if you show up in a group practice session, there is nobody there. so, so that community gives us hope that one day you're gonna be done with this, and keep coming, just keep coming. That is a safe space for us. I appreciate it because in this speech journey, I came to understand that you cannot do it by yourself. You need people. You need people. You need a community. That's what we have. So I take it very seriously. I don't play with the community. That's why I just want to say congratulations. Your speech was sweet like sugar. I can listen to it all day. I have nothing else to say. Congratulations.
Thank you, brother. Officer Rawlings. Thank you, man.
That's right. It's all about community, folks. And we have a very strong community here. Speaking of community, one of the leaders of this community, a fine coach and an even finer human being, Danny, mic is yours.
Thank you for that, Steve. Tremendous job hosting as always. This is why you're the most charismatic Sam host in the entire history. And out of love and respect to Amauris, I'm going to be using word linkage because, as I probably told him once or twice in the past, his use of word linkage is like poetry in motion. Just like how everybody said so far, I thought your speech was exceptional. It was definitely a first round knockout. And I just have one quick question for you. Obviously, you used all the amazing resources within the StopStutter app and even purchased 10 therapy sessions with Steve. So, what sales pitch, if you will, would you give to anyone who may be on the fence of joining this program and purchasing some therapy sessions? Thank you.
Man, big question. I love every aspect of this program. But honestly, the first thing that reeled me right in when I first started this program, I watched the very first masterclass series video from Coach Lee, and it was just so matter of fact. It was so different from anything I've ever heard from from SLPs who say, oh, you have to accept your stutter. It's a part of you, blah, 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 this, and that. Coach Lee went straight into it. He said, here's a manual of how you get rid of your stuttering. Nobody can fix you but you. No speech therapist, no program, no magic pill. You have to do what needs to be done to get rid of your stutter. Here are the tools. Here's the proof. And himself being living proof was my first time ever seeing that. Wow, an actual stutterer who overcame stuttering, who was giving the world a literal manual in our hands to overcome this. That was just mind-blowing to me. Literally, just that first video and first glimpse of Coach Lee was all I needed, at least, to dive right into this program. Thank you, Danny.
Thank you, Danny. Next on the mic, Jamal from Kuwait. Jamal, the mic is yours.
Thank you, Steve, again, and hi, everyone. Amauris, what is speaking is amazing. One of the quotes, I love it from the Tony Robbins, focus where focus goes, full of the energy, the flows. So what I hear in your speech, you focus on passion that knows that carry out your the fluency. So I really love your passion, your pace, and your pauses. So I am always motivated, inspired by your passion. So keep it up, my friend. It is a really amazing speech.
Thank you, Jamal. See you at the next practice session. Always an awesome time chatting with you, buddy.
Oh my goodness. I see that WSSA's board chairman, Ambassador Siebert, is still with us today.
Oh my goodness.
Ambassador Siebert, do you have any final thoughts or comments?
Oh my goodness. I absolutely do have a couple of comments on the presenter today, but I must start with the moderator. Steve, I see you are so nattily dressed today that you're still in the same suit that you wore when you were a presenter at last week's Golden Globes in Hollywood. That is a great looking outfit, my friend. And very dressed up for for our Saturday Sams. I can't imagine. Thanks for being a great moderator, as always, Steve. I think the world of you. Amauris, happy birthday, age 30. Coach Lee and I hope we look as good as you when we turn 30. But I must tell you, your presentation was remarkable. And the smile that is constantly painted on your face is one of the great attributes you connect. Just two comments on your words. One is that your quote, it seems every Saturday I come up with I could put a book together now of great quotes by people who have found fluency through this program. When you say that pain is often where purpose can be found, that's really very, very profound, I think. And the other observation you made about your personal life, Morris, is that stuttering is the worst form of torture, listening to yourself recorded stuttering. And you came through it by with the help of your wonderful girlfriend who gave you who you spoke with her sappy love notes aloud. I mean, this is really fortifying a great relationship. So give her great credit. Wonderful presentation by everyone today, and I thank you, and I'll turn it back to Coach Lee.
All right, good stuff. Coach Lee, the mic is yours.
Okay, thank you, Steve. I want to say, Steve, that I doubled down on Ambassador Siebert's comments. You look great today. If I looked half that good, I would retire. And I think we should double your pay. The only problem is when you double zero, you still get a zero. We maybe double you what Amauris gets. It's still zero. Oh no. Or what I get. Oh no, it's still zero. Anyway, I'm gonna read something that I've read before. I can't keep track of all the stuff that I've read here. And so I just, whatever moves me on that day, you may have heard it before, you may not. And this is something that I probably stole the thoughts from someone, but I don't know from whom. So I can't give attribution. I'll have to, if there's any blame, I'll take it for what I'm going to read right now. It goes this way. We all feel down sometimes, like the pressures of the world are closing in on us. We need to regularly remind ourselves that everyone in the world suffers from some heartbreaks and disillusions of life. And so, too often, we fail to see the glass half full, as it almost always is, and to count our many blessings. Life itself is a great blessing. So when you're down, you're still not out, and you're not alone, and you're one of many. And a better tomorrow awaits you. Now it's up to you to do all you can today, as this will bring you a better tomorrow. So, thank you, Steve, for a great job today. I've enjoyed all the comments. They get better and better every week. But thank you, Steve, in particular. Back to you.
Thank you. Hey, folks, real quick before I close the meeting, I want you all to unmute your mics. And Noah Sam, I would like you to lead us in the happy birthday song, if you could for me, please. Is Noah still here? Well, this backfired.
Shall we start?
Yeah. Go for it, Noah.
Happy birthday
to
to you.
you.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Amauris. Happy birthday to you. That's it.
All right.
Happy
Thank you,
birthday.
Noah. All right, so we're not going to start a glee club or anything like that. That's all right. Folks, it's time to close our meeting. I hope that you enjoy exchanging thoughts with ex-stutters and those fast becoming ex-stutters. I will now end our motto. Feel free to say along with me. Let's do a little bit better than the happy birthday song. If you could say one word, anywhere, anytime, you could say, and love to say, any word, anywhere, anytime. Until next Saturday, folks, have a great weekend. Happy birthday, Morris. So proud of you.